So then you went in and you got the script, and then you not knowing your Urdu properly. फिर क्या हुआ? वो script खुद पढ़ा, किसी ने पढ़ के बताया?
So the script basically was sent to me when they obviously said कि you have the part, so that like, please पहले 10 episode भेज दे. तो उन्होंने obviously भेजा, and then I read it like I was reading it like जी माँ मैं आती, you know, like this, and then my mom was like, okay, let me read it for you. And she was thankfully here, so she was like, अच्छा ठीक है, like let me read it for you. But I live with my dadi here, so
Your dadi's in Karachi.
Yeah, so
okay.
I just all my scenes I would do with her, so she would do all my lines with me, so she like knows the drama in and out, right? She's like, "Ab to nahi, my ye line aayi, my ye line aayi."
That's so helpful. And that's so sweet. Yeah.
And even when I'd come back from shoot, she'd be like, "Chalo karo lines, kaun si lines?" And then like, so I would like do the lines first. So she was very helpful because my cousin obviously lives with me too, but like they don't know how to read Urdu, and like it's just like that. She was like my saving grace. Her and like my cook, we would do the lines together.
That's nice. That's nice. Huh?
We would do the lines together too. So yeah, in that sense, I think it was difficult, but I feel like I feel like at least this year wise, I've like really, my Urdu has gotten a lot better. मैं बात नहीं कर रही उर्दू में, लेकिन
बेहतर हो गई है।
हाँ, बहुत बेहतर हो गई है।
आदत भी तो नहीं रहती ना बाहर रह के उर्दू बोलने की।
ऊपर से जब कोई और बात कर रहा होता है उर्दू में, आप अपनी, एटलीस्ट फॉर मी, मैं बहुत कॉन्शियस हो जाती हूँ अपनी उर्दू के बारे में। I'm like, अच्छा ठीक है, मैं ये लफ्ज़ कह रही हूँ, is this sounding fine? Or like the dialect gets a bit wonky. Like I used to have this problem on set where they'd be like, अच्छा dialect थोड़ी सी आपकी like वो बुरा आदमी है, like बुरा. So they would say थोड़ा सा अपना dialect was check karo. But honestly, all the ADs, honestly, everyone was so helpful on set with this. They would like run lines with me, like whether it be like the ADs like Fahim Bhai and Ubaid Bhai, or whether it be like even Danish Bhai, like before a scene, he'd be like, "Acha ye loves aise kehna hai, ye loves aise." Even Hadika ji, Sakina Appa, because like she's just incredible, like a legend. She was very, very helpful.
So good experience, huh? Good experience.
Very good experience.
And the script is so strong. I mean, we're watching it, and that's why I connected with you immediately, and I think people also connected with you because they just loved the character. Because ये तो अच्छी है, ये तो support कर रही है माँ को, you know. Although बीच में थोड़ा सा करती है stumble कि अच्छा ज़मीर की बातों में आके अभी तक, but otherwise she's pretty much okay.
I think she's like the positive character.
She's a positive character.
And she should be. I feel like why not? Like I think like if mothers don't have their own daughter's support, then whose support do they have, right? Like I'm very close to my mother, and whenever she like wants to do something, I think she like me and my sister are the first people she comes and asks. So I feel like you can't even take that step अगर आपने आपका approval, not even approval, लेकिन support नहीं है बेटी का, right? And I feel like
and vice versa.
Yeah, and I just feel like they also go through very similar stages, maybe in different stages in life, but they're all going through the same pattern in life, being like a woman in a certain society, right? Whether you're younger, whether you're older, you're going through your own version of that. So I feel, I really like that character.
Is there anything about Minal's character, your character Minal, that you would change?
No, I really liked the character. I like how they've also like written it. Like it's been written really well. I think one thing maybe. I feel like, okay, I don't want to give too much away, so like, no, I really like the character.
Abhi tak jitna hua
No, I loved all of that. Like, I feel like there are parts where she could be like, stop it, Afan, but like,
thoda sa zyada ki bas kar do, kya bakwas hai.
But I feel like she's also like, it's obviously important to understand that just like how her mother was technically raised by her father in a specific way, she is also in that same household been raised in that same way as well.
Right.
So she also has like the timidness or the little bit of like not that much exposure and like having to live by certain rules. So uska bhi hai, like as much as like maa ka thoda sa caged situation hai, uski bhi hai.
Yeah, that's a good point actually, and that really applies. That's right.
So I feel like in a lot of instances where her brother is maybe being very disrespectful, she doesn't have like
that's actually a great point, that he's being reflective of his father. He's taken on that role. और Minal जो है वो basically है suppressed, थोड़ी सी तो होगी. Hopefully not too much though. Not too much. But how would a young girl react with a mother who's been widowed and is dancing with a young boy at a wedding? कुछ लोगों ने कहा कि यार ये थोड़ा ज़्यादा हो गया है. मतलब है कि ठीक है दिखाते हैं उसको कि वो खुश है, वॉक भी कर ले, टेनिस भी खेले, लेकिन अपने बच्चे की मंगनी पे नाचना नाचना is what the people used that word. ये थोड़ा inappropriate हो गया. ये इन्होंने थोड़ा सा over कर दिया है.
I mean, it was only for like a little while. It wasn't like the whole mangni or whatever. I think I can understand because it's like father has just died, thoda sa sensitive hona chahiye and all of that. Lekin I feel like I think we forget to realize that it's been quite a bit of time. So
time गुजर चुका है इद्दत का भी और वैसे भी उसके बाद भी.
So the time has gone by and I think we're seeing it very as like this is how she should behave.
Yeah.
लेकिन अगर आप खुद इस सिचुएशन में हो तो शायद आपको फील हो रहा हो ओह I can finally breathe like yes I've lost a really big part of my life लेकिन I can actually also finally breathe. So I think it's like it's like very
it is a balance and I met Hadika the other day and she said कि कितनी औरतों ने आके मुझे कहा कि हमारी कहानी है. This is actually how we feel that we're so stifled in a marriage that you know
it is. I mean I feel like so I was saying this to like all my mom's friends and they talk about it and their biggest thing is like it's perfectly okay, right? Like they always look at me for being like Hana, it's perfectly fine. And I'm like, yeah, it's perfectly fine. I mean like the only thing is that like we accept as a society so much an older man marrying a younger woman.
Yes.
That's how the drama started, obviously.
Bilkul.
And for some reason it's interesting to also see कि इतना बड़ा conversation, इतनी बड़ी conversation बन गई है कि like oh this older woman or like is now with this younger guy and it's very interesting to see how we for some reason we need to make that even a conversation when the other thing is not even a conversation. It's just so accepted.
वो acceptable है कि एक बहुत बड़ा आदमी and he's shown to be what 25-30 years older than her at least. वो बिल्कुल you're absolutely right. वो conversation नहीं है. बिल्कुल नहीं है. So mine as a young person and there's so much conversation about women and relationships and do you think things have changed? Women's relationships with their fathers, their brothers, their partners, companions, friends, boyfriends, husbands.
I mean, I feel like I would like to believe, I mean, we don't live in a la la land, but I like to believe that we are progressing as a society. Like, I feel like I can only speak for myself, but I have a very good relationship with my father. He's like my best friend. So everything I do, like I run by him. And I do know friends who don't have that. They'd be like, oh, how do you like just pick up the phone and talk to your dad, you know, for like an hour or whatever it is, or like mazak kaise hota hai, and they have that like barrier where they're just like, oh, this is our father, we must now be quiet jab wo aa gaye, right? And that makes me really sad. I've had like a lot of friends growing up who've been even closer to my dad comparatively to their own, because it's just like I feel like maybe as a society when you become a father you're taught to be like that strict tyrant type of figure in the family, and everyone must fear you, and in order to be in the family mujhe aise hi behave karna hai, this and that. So I feel like I don't know why, but it's in our society to build